Just like the Glazers, Ratcliffe was sung by Manchester United fans 8 days ago. Ratcliffe was the target of vitriolic chanting as supporters protested higher ticket prices before facing Everton, which confirmed his honeymoon period as co-owner was over. There were green and yellow flares set off and anti-Glazer banners raised. Unfortunately, Ratcliffe seems to have more in common with the Glazer family than was initially thought, and it wouldn't be a complete surprise if he took a page from their playbook to replace Dan Ashworth. United waited 4 months for Ashworth to begin work at Old Trafford because he had to serve a period of gardening leave, but he spent just 5 months as the club's sporting director. United released a statement on Sunday and said Dan Ashworth will be leaving his role as sporting director of Manchester United by mutual agreement. We would like to thank Dan for his work and support during a transitional period for the club and wish him well for the future. Club sources have claimed the decision was made collaboratively following a period of transition, but it's thought INEOS instigated the decision to end Ashworth's contract. The decision has been described as very difficult for both parties, and United reiterated Ashworth has conducted himself with integrity and decency throughout his time at the club. Ratcliffe is believed to be recording fly-on-the-wall footage at United with a view to releasing a documentary on the club's rebuild down the line, and it should make for compelling viewing if the circumstances that led to Ashworth's departure are ever brought to light on screen. It seems inevitable any potential documentary would gloss over Ashworth's departure, though. The parting of ways is not a good look for INEOS, and it will be fascinating to see whether they appoint a replacement, promote from within, or disseminate Ashworth's former responsibilities. A club source was mute when the search for a successor was mentioned on Sunday morning, and making the correct decision this time after botching Ashworth's appointment is crucial. So who are the names to be aware of? While United search for a successor or decide if they want to hire one, Omar Berrada's CEO and Jason Wilcox, technical director, are set to assume more responsibility, and perhaps Christopher Vivell, interim director of recruitment, will be given a permanent role after making a strong impression since being appointed by INEOS in July. Former Chelsea technical director Vivell has a contract until February and will remain in his role until then, with the possibility he then takes up the position on a permanent basis. Ashworth's responsibilities could be absorbed by Berrada, Wilcox and Vivell, but it seems more likely a permanent successor will be appointed given Ratcliffe's best in-class mantra. If Ratcliffe promoted someone from within the club or made staff absorb responsibilities, that would be cost-effective and very Glazer-esque. The Glazers promoted Ed Woodward and subsequently Richard Arnold to powerful positions, and they favoured staff they knew. It would be a huge red flag if Ratcliffe adopted the same approach. So hopefully there is due diligence underway, and a list of candidates to replace Ashworth has already been made. Paul Mitchell, who is from Greater Manchester, was linked to the job before joining Newcastle, and Dougie Freedman is the bookmaker's favourite. PSG sporting director Luis Campos is also set to be available as there is a rift in Paris, and his contract expires at the end of the season. Ashworth was Ratcliffe's prime target for the inaugural sporting director role, and where the British billionaire turns next remains to be seen, but he cannot make another mistake. Ammad has revealed what Bruno Fernandes told him after Manchester United's 4-0 win over Everton earlier this month. The Ivorian has enjoyed a new lease of life under Ruben Amorim after struggling for game time under Erik ten Hag. Ammad has thrived so far under the Portuguese, having featured heavily in Amorim's 3-4-3 system. The 22-year-old has provided 4 assists so far under the former Sporting boss whilst playing as a right-sided midfielder. One moment some fans spotted earlier this month was a conversation he had with Fernandes on the pitch after United's comprehensive win over the Toffees. The winger-turned-midfielder has now revealed details about the conversation with the United captain. He told me some things to improve during games and asked me to be more focused towards the end of the game, because that's when you see the champions, Ammad told Sky Sport Italia. I am so happy to have Bruno as my teammate here. He speaks Italian, so we have a special bond. Ammad has also opened up on the position Amorim plays him in, whilst offering praise for the new United boss. He added, "We try to follow the coach's philosophy. He speaks to the players. He was a footballer himself, so he understands our feelings, and we are happy to have him," he added. "I always try to repay the coach's trust. We've been on good terms since he arrived. He's always tried to help me, especially because I am playing a new role. It's a position I already covered at Atalanta under Gasperini, but it was more towards the middle. This wing-back position is kind of new to me. I try to do it and the coach is helping me. I am enjoying every moment." Manchester United winger Antony has found an unlikely fan in the Romanian Prime Minister Marcel Ciolacu after a bizarre compilation video was posted onto TikTok. In the video on Ciolacu's official TikTok account, the political leader is seen being shown a picture of Antony, and he correctly names the forward before cutting into a compilation video that highlights the forward's best bits at United. Most of the footage is restricted to his time in the United squad in his debut season, including the now infamous moment when he spun around on the spot under no pressure during the victory over Sheriff Tiraspol in the Europa League. The exact reason Ciolacu chose to post this video on his TikTok account is unclear. However, the 57-year-old has posted football-related content on the social media platform previously, mainly surrounding the Romanian national team. In November, Ciolacu told the media that politics had no place in sport after Kosovo chose to leave the field on 90+5 minutes during their clash with Romania in Bucharest, leading to the Nations League fixture being cancelled. Antony may well be grateful for the support from an unlikely source after a difficult run at Old Trafford. The Brazilian has dropped down the pecking order this campaign, despite promising the press in the summer that he would be back among the goals this season. Under Ruben Amorim, Antony has been moved into a left wing-back role, but he is currently behind the likes of Ammad and Tyrell Malacia in the squad. Ruben Amorim, Manchester United's newly appointed manager, has continued to shape his tactical vision a crucial phase of their Premier League fixture against Nottingham Forest, with key updates on player injuries and return dates, during a December 6th training session at Carrington. The Portuguese coach, known for his innovative approach, has begun implementing significant changes to boost the team's performance and adapt to their demanding winter schedule. Formation shift. Amorim emphasised his preferred 3-4-3 system, which he successfully used at Sporting Lisbon. This setup involves high pressing, swift ball movement, and a reliance on attacking wing-backs to maintain defensive balance while creating offensive opportunities. Luke Shaw is being prepared for a role as a left-sided centre-back. This change aims to leverage Shaw's defensive skills while minimising the physical toll of a full wing-back role Antony has been experimented with as a right wing-back. This positional switch could rejuvenate his form, allowing him to contribute defensively and exploit space on the flanks. During counter-attacks, player engagement. Amorim actively participated in the session, offering one-on-one guidance to key players like Kobbie Mainoo. This reflects his commitment to developing a cohesive team identity and ensuring every player understands their role. Intensity and focus. The training session was characterised by high energy, with players involved in rapid, competitive drills that mirror the fast-paced nature of Premier League games. Amorim's hands-on involvement reinforced his philosophy of hard work and tactical discipline. Amorim's proactive adjustments come as the club sits mid-table in the Premier League, aiming to bridge the gap to the top four. His innovative training approach and positional experiments are pivotal as United prepare for their next fixtures, including challenging encounters against top-tier rivals. The upcoming matches will test whether these training ground changes translate into improved performances on the pitch. This session has set the tone for an exciting new chapter under Amorim's leadership at Manchester United. Manchester United have many talented youngsters within the walls at Carrington, and there is hope that new head coach Ruben Amorim can help them develop into world-class stars. It will be a challenge to see who can take the necessary steps towards being a world-class player as United aim to reach the top of the game once again. They will be challenging against some elite talent from within the Premier League, and the latest defeat against Arsenal was a reminder of some of the class opponents possess. While their attacking was not exactly on point, Mikel Arteta's side were excellent defensively, and that was led by William Saliba. The French defender made it look easy when he was dealing with the likes of Rasmus Højlund or Alejandro Garnacho, and Rio Ferdinand believes he will become the best defender in the world. I think he's going to be the best defender in the world. Saliba will be the best defender in the world when Virgil van Dijk gives up that post, the former United centre-back said on his YouTube channel this week. As soon as it happens, it could be a year or it could be 3 years. Whatever it's going to be, I don't see anybody else taking over. Although Ferdinand did go against that point afterwards, as he suggested United defender Leny Yoro could be the only player to take that tag. Instead of Saliba, the only person who I think will rival him, and it's going to be close, is Leny Yoro, he added. Signing Yoro was a significant moment for United in the latest summer transfer window, as he looked certain to be moving to Real Madrid. The teenager is considered one of the best defensive talents in the world and is on United's books after being convinced of the move. Ferdinand was one of many he spoke to before putting pen to paper on a long-term deal. After suffering an injury in pre-season, he has finally returned to the team, coming on as a second-half substitute against Arsenal. He looked impressive despite the result. To be injured and come in, and it wasn't just coming in and doing quite well, continued Ferdinand as he touched on Euro's performance. He got in 2 situations, 1 versus 1 on his own, edge of the box and on his own. Dealt with them both really well. It is a huge claim for the United legend to make, but there was a reason this transfer was celebrated and why the likes of Madrid wanted him in the first place. With his injury troubles now behind him, Euro himself will want to start proving himself in the Premier League, like Saliba did several years ago. Hopefully he'll be in those same conversations as his fellow countrymen in due course.